What's good? This your boy King John. This is My Made Radio, and you tuned in again. Let's get it. Welcome to My Made Radio. This is King John, and right now I'm actually on this. I'm on the stage by myself today, and I am going to be talking about narcissistic personality disorder, and I'm about to be breaking this down in full detail, and even going all the way back to like ancient mythology and talking about where this word narcissism even comes from. So we gonna go into that today. So the first part of the podcast today, we're gonna be talking about the definition of a narcissist. So by definition, the word narcissist, if we look up the word narcissist, okay, so the definition of narcissist, personality qualities including thinking very, very highly of oneself, needing admiration, believing others are inferior, and lacking empathy for others. Now, this comes from different like mental health clinics, studies, clinical studies. And so that's what people have adopted as the understanding of narcissism. So what I want to do today is actually go into where narcissism actually comes from and what it actually means and represent. So like what I want to do is talk about Narcissus. Narcissus, my bad. That's the name. Narcissus. Narcissus is a actual ancient Greek mythological character. And this ancient mythological character fell in love with himself by seeing this actual reflection in the water. He got to the water because he followed some girl named, some, other deity named Echo. And Echo, she was supposedly, she was told by Zeus to occupy Zeus's wife. And Zeus' wife found out that she was distracting her by talking to her. And Zeus' wife ended up causing her to not be able to speak anymore. She caused her not to be able to say anything except for what somebody else says. So she can only repeat after what someone else says. So she ended up meeting Narcissus and seeing him, and she fell in love with him off of seeing him, which she didn't really fall in love with him. We're going to go into that too. So that's another thing too. So as we break this down today, it's going to really be deep because we're going to find out that what most people claim to be narcissism isn't really narcissism. It's something that somebody told you was narcissism because they had a misunderstanding of what the original concept of this story, what Narcissus really means. So for example, I'm about to actually play, let me set this up. I'm about to play a little video that actually talks about it. This is the shortest one I could find because the one I actually like a lot is actually like 20-some minutes long, and I don't want to play that long. Good one that is actually shorter than that, so we can actually listen to this one. And here it is. Let's listen to it.
So the story starts as most stories in Greek mythology start, with Zeus going on philia koisokolata on some pretty girls. Now, obviously, for an unmarried bachelor or bachelorette, there's nothing wrong with the philia koisokolata here and there, but a problem arises when Zeus is not only married, he's literally married to the goddess of marriage itself, Hera. Hera isn't the most thrilled with this situation, so she decides to go all Hera about it and find Zeus and probably murder every female within a 6-mile radius of him while she's at it. While Zeus's primary character flaw was infidelity, I believe Hera's would be more accurately classified as murder lust. Anyway, unfortunately for Hera, Zeus catches wind of her coming and tells a mountain nymph named Echo to distract Hera. Echo is all like,
okay, sure, king of the gods, whatever you say.
And goes off to do so. So now Hera's trying to find Zeus when Echo shows up and...
Like, holy crap, did you hear what happened to Eros and Psyche? Totally Ekentrikos, right? Almost as Ekentrikos as that whole bull situation down in Crete. Pasiphae is pretty crazy, you know? Totally whack what Poseidon did to her, you know? And what's up with Pygmalion? Total weirdo. That guy's got a rocky relationship, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm crying. So Echo is supposed to be why some people today why we say the word echo and what an echo really is comes from this.
And his wife, Galatea, does she work out or something? Because that girl is totally chiseled. Speaking of working out, you know what didn't work out? Orpheus's whole girlfriend thing. I can totally see why he lost his head like that. Kind of like your kid. Hephaestus, man, that kid just does not have a leg to stand on. In fact, you could almost say...
It is at this point that Hera realizes that she's being stalled and lays a curse on poor Echo, making it that since she currently can't shut up, from now on she can only repeat things that other people say to her. Then Hera goes off and she and Zeus have more unfortunate marital strife elsewhere and provide many more fun stories and terrible role models and all that stuff. Enter Narcissus.
Yo.
Narcissus was a hunter and was known for two things. First, he was the most handsome man pretty much ever, and second, he just absolutely would not let anyone forget it. He was so full of himself that he pretty much actively despised everyone else.
Yes, and so in some other translations of this story, though, Narcissus actually had some type of mythological enchantment power where he actually, when just off of his looks alone caused people to lust after him in a very strong manner. So that's also what it is. Like, this is just a different, translation she's actually like, translating to us. But like, yes, in other translations, he had powers that made people fall like into lust with him.
I am the best after all.
So he shows up, and because Greek mythology is basically just one long, prolonged, wacky shenanigan tinged with the occasional tragic flaw or unnecessary assault, right then Eros, the Greek equivalent of Cupid, is flying around having some fun.
Whoops. Oh, crap.
And now Echo is in love with Narcissus. Unfortunate.
Yeah, so her story is a little bit off. So, she just kind of going and throwing little... It's not off, it's another different version of it. But in the actual version, there was no Cupid. Echo fell in love with Narcissus after she seen him. And Echo also was with some other women also as well. This is a whole other thing, but they, was looking, they all fell in love with him, and he kind of, abandoned them and other stuff like that as well. So there's different versions to this story. But one of the points I want to point out real quick is that he had narcissistic personality disorder, which is he was a disorderly person. Who he truly was a deity who had the ability to attract people to him, which is a good thing. People loved the beauty that they seen of who he was, and he also was supposed to love it. But he in the actual stories, the original stories, not even like the original versions, on the ones that's closer to the real version, Narcissus actually didn't even know how beautiful he was. He didn't even know how amazing he truly was. So he had a disorder truly in the beginning, and that's why he didn't even notice how great he was and what his lack of love that he had for other people. He was, known to be a little bit nasty to people. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he was at first. So she kind of leaving a lot of details out. That's why this video is shorter than the other ones. But yes, just kind of going along. I'm just trying to point some concepts out of showing like how it wasn't really a bad thing. The person just didn't know who he was. So she's kind of leaving that part out though. But I'm interested in this next part.
For fans of true love and ancient Greek shippers, Echo now had that whole new voice thing that doesn't exactly mesh with professing your love to someone. The resulting conversation didn't go well.
Yo, who's there?
Who's there?
What? Get over here!
Over here.
And so on and so forth. Eventually, they found each other, at which point they totally got married and lived happily ever after.
That's not even what happened. What is this? This, I ain't gonna lie. And listen, it's like cause I looked at the first part of it and thought that she had it decent, and it was quick cause I was trying to find a quick one. And I didn't even watch the full thing. So she had a lot of stuff she left out. Like, no, what is wrong? No, what happened was like she actually, he actually fell in love with himself because Echo, this is the actual, I'm crying. The actual story that happened was that Echo fell in love with him, and then she seen him and she was trying to stay away from him, but she was trying to just stay just enough distance away from him, and then he heard something and he said, "Where are you?" or "Who is that?" or something. And then she said, or "Who's there?" or something, and she repeated it because that's all she could do is repeat after what someone else says. So she left out the part that the woman made her only able to repeat after what other people say. And so she kept doing that, and he kept trying to follow the voice, and she kept moving farther away because she didn't want to be seen, and because she couldn't talk to him like she wanted to. It actually was messing her up in the inside, like that she couldn't actually like tap in with him the way that she was supposed to. So as she led him farther away, he eventually came to a pool or a lake, and in that pool and lake, he seen his reflection. And then when he seen his reflection, his magical so-called powers that he had he had on his effect that he had on other people affected him as well. And now he fell in love with himself. He kept trying to hug himself. And when he tried to hug himself in the water, the ripple effect went away and he was sad. You know what I'm saying? And he kept doing it, trying to wait for it. And then eventually he died and turned into a flower with a golden crown. And there's a flower called Narcissus. There's a flower called Narcissus that he's named after. Also, that's somebody named after this man. Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is the actual founder of the psychological concept of this. Like, he's not the originator. The actual originator that originally tapped in with it was a person named Havelock Ellis, and this was in 1898. And Havelock Ellis kind of first identified narcissism as a psychological, disorder or a mental disorder, and dealing around it. People have like taken these ideas that stem from this same story and identified their own understanding of narcissism. And Sigmund Freud being one of the most popular who has done it. And of course, it has like increased, whereas many different people who have brought their own ideas that stemmed off these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you have people who have a certain idea of narcissism today, because they're going off of what other people say. So today we really can make our own understanding of what this story means. So in the story of Narcissus, the fact that number one, Narcissus actually, he didn't know who he was. He didn't know how great and wonderful he was, and other people would actually fall in love with him off of how he looked. And that would cause him to actually like resent people, because he knew that these people didn't really love him the way that they claimed to love him. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't love him. They lusted over him, and the idea of love that they thought was love was not. And it was kind of like a curse in disguise, because it would make it easy. Their lust made it easy for them to want to try to love him. And they assumed that the feeling that they would have based off of just seeing this man was lust. I mean, was love itself, and it wasn't. So that's number one, identifying that Sigmund Freud had a misunderstanding of this man. This man, Narcissus, wasn't just self-centered and whatever. He was feeling like he had to be like resentful towards people and treat people not as nice, and kind of like brush people away and kind of like fall away from people, because they were taking advantage of his love, because they didn't even know what love was. He was love. That's what made them lust after him, because they actually seen his love and how beauty, like his true inner beauty, who he was. It wasn't just off this physical face, even though that's what it seemed to be. It seemed to be his physical face, but it was actually the godly power that he held in itself. Just looking at him and noticing who he was and actually seeing him allowed you to fall in love with him. Not even fall in love, because it's actually lust. And that's what another thing with these Greeks, philo, this concept of philo or lust or liking, they actually translated this word as love in the Bible. So you can get confused in thinking that this word love and this word philo go together, and they don't. So people was lusting over him. So as we move on to the next part though, right? Narcissus was one of those people who kind of like had to discover himself the hard way. He ended up chasing after a woman. Now he didn't know he was chasing after a woman. He was chasing after a woman that was hiding from him because she could not actually speak to him the way that she needed to. Now that's another, this is like, it's so deep because like once you actually start recognizing like that Echo, which is the woman or the mythological entity who was sent by Zeus to distract Zeus's wife, and now Echo has now gotten punished by the Zeus's wife because she got upset and said, "Hey, you cannot speak to anybody unless you actually repeat what they say. You can't even say nothing but after what someone else says." So now she's stuck like that, and now she meets this man who she falls or she lusts over, and she can't talk to him, so she keeps her distance, and he says something and she repeats after him, and she's steady hiding and going and moving away from him, and he goes into a pool where he finds himself. But it was not until after he was getting tired of chasing after this woman, Echo. And this is what we can reflect this in real life. And this is not something that Sigmund Freud paid attention to when he was studying this. And this is me really being honest. Like, there's a concept that he took it how he wanted to take it, and that's fine. But when you really look at what's going on, he was the true narcissist, or Narcissus, wasn't aware of who he was. So because he was not aware of who he was, it made him actually have to find himself, and it took him to have to follow a woman and chase after a woman in this weird way where he ended up finally coming to a place where he's seen himself and he was able to fall in love with himself. And then he ended up not falling in love with, he ended up lusting over himself, and the love that he already had for himself, it just embodied with that because he already had the love in him the whole time. And then once he did that, he died, right? But he died, but it says in the story that he became a flower with a gold crown. So he still lived after that. And you know, again, today the flower Narcissus, you know, it actually is a real flower, and somebody named that, whatever. But the whole point is, we have come to an understanding in today's time, though, like that what people have coined as narcissism is really a way to try to cause people who actually could be being normal people to look at themselves like less than, which is causing them to go against the actual essence of what the person in the story actually did himself. He had to find himself. And like, if people were telling him that he was supposed to, that he was just this messed up person, you know what I'm saying, and this bad person and stuff like that, he would have never found himself for real. What actually happened was it was so many people trying to tell him how, like, chase after how good he was and tell him all the good stuff about him. He couldn't even see who he really, really was for real. He didn't see what he was missing. He didn't see why they liked him or nothing. They didn't have no real, they was drawn to him for something that he didn't even understand. So he had to figure out what that was that made him powerful and made other people come towards him. So that's another part. But yeah, so now loving yourself is important. And this is the next topic. And loving ourselves is a form of narcissism. And really, that's just what it is. So if we understand that if Narcissus himself would have loved himself, then he would have recognized that he didn't need to sit at that pool or that water all day, every day. He could have went out and did something else in the world. He actually could have did a lot more. But because he suffered from narcissistic personality disorder, which is not knowing himself, he didn't know who he was. So it was dangerous for the girl Echo to even be trying to be with that man anyway. He didn't even know who he was, just like she couldn't communicate who she was. They probably was a match made in heaven. So she probably should have came out. And if she would have came out, he probably would have been fascinated with her. And then they probably could have had a good relationship, like the story that the girl just told. But that's not what happened in reality. So there's different versions. So in other versions, then they actually did meet each other and they fell in love. So even understanding that in the other versions, once he actually found the voice that was coming, that echo of his voice, and found himself through her, then he was able to actually come in so many ways and recognize how the actual concept of being a healthy narcissist exists, even in the stories. You have an unhealthy narcissist and you have a healthy narcissist. The healthy narcissist is the one that end up getting married to Echo in the end. The unhealthy narcissist is the one that actually died at that pool looking at himself the whole time. So you have an actual moral to this story that a lot of people don't even know, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a really deep concept. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real thing. Somebody, I hope all is well with his name of this clip. The name of this clip, Diamond, I don't know if you even still in the room. But yeah, it's the name of the clip is I don't even know if you want to watch that one, but it was called, what was it called? Greek Mythology, the story of Echo and Narcissus, and it was by So Okay, Here's the Thing. That's the name of the YouTube channel. So Okay, Here's the Thing. Anyway, but yes, and her story was kind of off. Like, it wasn't off. It was like she mixed in different versions and created her own off version. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about doing the same thing, actually. Like, this is actually recorded, and actually the story that I just told y'all, I kind of like mixed in some stuff to myself. But at the end of the day, that's what Greek mythology is for. That's what Roman mythology and folklore is for. That's what a lot of things is for. Doctrine, you know what I'm saying? Use it for correction and righteousness. Figure out what the truth is. And the truth is, there is a healthy way to handle situations, and there's an unhealthy way. And we see the healthy way is by finding yourself, finding out who you truly are, seeing yourself, and then recognizing how great you are and how the world really does need you. And then you recognize why the world wants you, or why the world like gravitates towards you in whatever way or manner, and then using that to your advantage and making sure you control that. That's healthy narcissism. But you can't be that way unless you do know yourself. So if you don't know yourself, then you will be an unhealthy narcissist, and you go sit at that pool and you go die looking at yourself and trying to figure out how great you are and looking at how great you are, but not actually utilizing that greatness to actually like help the world or change the world. That's the concept.
Mine made the brand. Free duck. Yeah. I can't stop, I got a grind tryna make it to the top. They looking at me like I'm crazy, man, yeah, maybe, but I'm amazing. God made me who I am. Yeah, you know I'm him. Yeah, I'm a king, not a pimp. Driving straight to the rim. No, I can't stop, I'm just me. And the game just gon' get deep. So I know them snakes and serpents gon' be tryna surround me. But guess what? I'm gon' stump right on they head, and then do it again, cause they really think I'm playing, they need to stop. I'm crying. King John boy, yeah, you know I'm gon' pop. Every day I wake up, I'm gon' shine. I keep money always on my mind. Then I realize I only need God. Thought I was gon' stop, somebody lied. I can't stop, boy, I got too much pride. Kill that. Yeah, I gotta kill what's up inside. Hey. Satan thought he slick, but we gon' slide. Boy, you know I got it on my mind. Mine made the brand, boy, we up inside. Yeah. Hey, our God so glorified. I gotta grind, it's my time. Out the slime, I feel fine. Struggling, just a blessing in disguise. And mine's been masked up. Poured up so many times, and that's my last cup. Forget a job, I still haven't won off my last one. If you want results, you gotta get up off your ass, bruh. Sell books and clothes, it adds up. Taken away from God, it's mad dumb. But most of the times, the ones who ignore the truth, it's just sad bums. And even with the money, still look mad drunk. It ain't even funny, been sad sucks. Y'all tired of the bad luck, not realizing it's karma. Nigga, it adds up. King John boy, yeah, you know I'm gon' pop. Every day I wake up, I'm gon' shine. I keep money always on my mind. Then I realize I only need God. Thought I was gon' stop, somebody lied. I can't stop, boy, I got too much gotta kill what's up inside. Saying thought he slick, but we gon' slide. Boy, you know I got it on my mind. Mine made the brand, boy, we up inside. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, our God so glorified. Yeah.
At this point, we all know love is patience, understanding, care, correction, long-suffering, loyalty, and faithfulness simultaneously. To truly love someone, we must follow those 7 concepts at all times, even when it's hard. When we give up, there is no love in us. Love is God. 1 John 4 verse 8 tells us this. We must learn to practice love at all times, so we can become better. If you master love, you master the kingdom. The kingdom is love. The kingdom is within. We have lied so much about what love is to us. Love is something more complex than what mankind has tried to identify it. Everyone who has read 7th Seal Book 1, Chapter 4, has an idea of what true love is. Love is stronger than death, according to Songs of Solomon 8:6. Love isn't feelings. Feelings make it easier or harder to love. Feelings are emotions that are not understood. Once the emotion is identified and understood, the healing process begins. Love is not easy unless you are surrounded by love. When you are surrounded by evil, love becomes harder. There is nothing hard about loving what is allowing you to love. True love is loving through hate. You can love even if you feel hate for something or someone.
Okay, so now that part, that's breaking down how, for one, your feelings is a big thing. And actually, I want this part that actually I'm working on too in here. I want to read. I'm gonna read this part right here. This is this is a part is what is good and evil. I want to read this part real quick. Isaiah 45:7 tells us that the Most High forms the light and creates darkness. It also tells us that God makes peace and create evil. The word evil used in this verse is a Hebrew word ra, H7451 in the Hebrew Concordance, which means evil or bad. It also means wicked and misery. This means that all things that are evil, God has allowed to exist. Why would God do that? Judges 3:4 tells us that it's to test us to see if we will follow the commandments that God has given to our ancestors since the time of Adam. Evil is going against God. This means that the only reason evil exists is because the people who will not submit to God's order. Oh no, my bad. It means because the people that won't submit to God's order. That also means that for a person to be God, he must do all that God asks. That means no human is good. We strive to be good. We can be good if we follow the commandments of God from 1 John 3:23 and believe on the name, which is love. We actually just did the room on what God's name is yesterday, that Jesus brought to us. The word good comes from a Hebrew word tob or tab, H2896, meaning agreeable or beneficial. This means that you can be good. This means that you can't be good if you don't agree with God. That also means that you can't be good if you don't benefit God or God's people. Good also means better. Being better than you were yesterday is good. Be good and always love. Love is good. Lack of love is evil. And God always allows free will. So you can choose to hearken to the will of God, or you can go in your own way. But God rathers you come in a self-government. All right, so now this part right here, and this is law. I'm gonna read this part real quick. No, actually, I'm gonna read this part, and I'm gonna wrap it up on this. What is a good person? Jesus tells us in Matthew 19:17 that there is none good but God. He also said we must keep his commandments to have eternal life. 1 John 3:23 tells us that the commandment is to believe on the name that Jesus came in. Being a good person is about love. If you do not love, you cannot be good. You cannot say you love a person if you do not know what love is. A lot of people who claim that they are good people lack love and are liars. A good person treats others the way that they want to be treated themselves. Some people don't know how they want to be treated, so this causes them to allow others to treat them bad. And then they, in return, treat others the way that others treat themselves. This is because they know not what they want and how they want to be treated. This is because they do not know God. If they knew God, they would know how God wants to be treated, and in return, they would know how they want to be treated, and they would know how to treat others. A good person knows love. So in reality, my point of reading this is because it's breaking down how love works. A person cannot love if they actually do not know God, because God is love. The Bible tells us that. So we have to stop acting like we loving people when we don't know God and love God, because we don't know love like we claim we do. We're pretending to know love, and we're calling it something that is not. We're calling it the lustful feelings and desires that Echo had for Narcissus, and that Narcissus had for himself once he seen himself inside of that lake and end up dying looking at himself the whole time. What love truly is the patience, understanding, the care, the correction, the long suffering, faithfulness, and loyalty that Echo had in the other version of the story, where it would allow her to get Narcissus to end up seeing her in the end, and they was to go off and get married, boom, 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 whatever. There's an understanding here. Lack of love causes you to be a narcissist, to have narcissistic personality disorder. Lack of love does that. And everything I'm saying is just, you can say his opinion. That's fine. But it's all like understood when all these psychologists that study these things and they put this together, we look into where it comes from. We all know it stems from a ancient mythological story about Narcissus and a woman, or a woman named Echo. So Narcissus and Echo are a story that in today's time we don't really pay attention to, and we think that these psychologists like Sigmund Freud, they the ones that coined these ideas out of nothing. That's not the case. They had stories that they try to base these concepts on and put ideas behind it, and then didn't even have, like, not saying that they didn't have understanding. They was at the understanding that they was at the time. We live in a generation where we are a little bit more advanced than the people before. We have experienced things in different manners. So we can see things a little bit differently than people before us did too. So now, I'm bringing it out. So as we move on with the podcast, the next actual part of the podcast we're going to be breaking down is emotional projection, which is one of my favorite words that I've been using lately, which is taking your emotions and how you emotionally feel about a situation and projecting it onto other people. This is what most people do. Most people take how they're feeling about, and this is going into example, if a kid falls down and the kid falls, and if it's just a little bump, the kid won't even really know what's going on. They're like, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? But if the mother or the father is like, oh my goodness, you all right? And panicking, the child's going to feel like something is wrong. And when it happens every time, that child's going to look for somebody to like panic. And that child is going to panic themselves. Same thing if you show a child a bug and you panicking, you know what I'm saying? That child is going to panic when they see that type of bug. But if you actually don't panic and you actually pick the bug up, play with the bug, let the child touch the bug, you know what I'm saying? That child will be comfortable around bugs. So emotional projection is really dangerous, and it hinders people from being able to be as strong and as dope as they can, because once you emotionally project on somebody, that goes into their subconscious mind, which then shapes their actual mind, and then starts to like fill their heart and their mind with darkness. or light, depending on what you emotionally projecting. If you're emotionally projecting dark, then you're gonna fill somebody up with darkness. If you're projecting light, then you're gonna fill somebody up with light. And it's the same thing with narcissistic personality disorder, because narcissistic personality disorder is full of like people that have narcissistic personality disorder, they project negativity. They project the negative outcomes of things. They project what can't happen. They project what they're not able to do. They project what you might not be able to do. They project their lack of belief onto you, their lack of faith onto you. That's what they're doing. And if you allow people to do that, they'll shape your mind. So if you got parents like that, I feel bad for you. Your parents are going to lead you down a bad path if you allow them to emotionally project on you, and you got 7 years where you have no control over that, where that's going to affect you in a massive way for most kids. And you have to, when you get older, be able to recognize that's what happened and pay attention to it and reshape your mind away from these negative, non-optimistic thoughts that's causing you not to be able to be as dope as you truly are. A lot of people don't pay attention to who God is because they don't know that God is actually God gives you the ability to become one with God and then be able to function as a full, orderly, divine entity on this planet. That's how we able to be. But we don't look at that like that because somebody told us that we can't be perfect and you are a narcissist, which narcissism is not bad. Being unhealthy, yes, that's bad. Narcissus was a human being. He wasn't born unhealthy. So Narcissus wouldn't be unhealthy. It was the way that they raised in the people that was around him that didn't know what love was, that kept telling him that they loved him because they fell in lust with his beauty. They fell in lust with how great he looked. And they decided to claim that they loved him. And their obsession with him to want to love him caused them to push him away and cause him to feel some type of way because he can feel the fakeness and the lies behind their so-called love. If they were truly loving him, he wouldn't have been so resentful towards these people or negative towards these people, or, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, man, leave me alone, brother. Leave me alone, sister. I'm tired of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Not paying attention to them because he was used to the fake love. But if people knew how to really love, then first off, they would have been too busy to even be worried about just him. They would have been moving as a community in a group because they would have been helping each other because they would have been so full of actual love and patience, understanding, care, correct. It would have been a lot more about more people than just him. If they all was loving, because then they all would have been embodying that love and it would have been a different situation. So emotional projection, it definitely is damaging, and it causes people to look at things in ways that's not healthy, in ways that can hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a problem. So let me go to this next part. And the next part of the podcast is God is a narcissist. Ooh, this is going to be the one that people hate. So now the concept of God being a narcissist, what does that mean? Based on what we've been breaking down today, a narcissist is what? A narcissist is a person. Matter of fact, let's actually read what a narcissist is first. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm actually going to read this part out of my book. I'm going to play this part out of my book. And this is in my book, 7 Sealed Secrets of the Bible, by the way. Y'all can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or whatever. It's 7th Seal, SEAL. Secrets of the Bible. This book is a powerful book. It's 10 books in one. It talks about almost everything you can think of, like the origins of mankind and where we come from. It talks about narcissism, mental health, what love is, different religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, and a lot of other concepts, including conspiracy theories like flat earth conspiracies, the Illuminati, aliens existing, angels existing, and who angels are. It gives you 48 keys on how to handle situations in the life that we're living today, in today's time, and also gives celebrities who actually use these same keys and examples of these celebrities using these keys, and so many other concepts. It gives evidence of Jesus Christ, breaks down concepts, people who talked about Jesus Christ, where Jesus studied when he was missing for 18 years, and a lot of other concepts as well. It just shows you so much in this book, so be sure to check that out. Check out this quick episode of Mind Made TV right now with your boy
Darius Edwards, $1 Billion Thoughts, baby.
Everybody that come to work still get their haircut by you, you know what I'm saying? They don't know what you go through at home, you know what I'm saying? They just know you crispy them up real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it be the people, dog. That's exactly what it is. The very people who I'm cutting, those are the ones who motivate me to continue to come to work. Because, I mean, once I come to work, I leave them problems that I have at home at the door, and then I come in. You came in today, we had good laughs and good jokes, so whatever negative energy, it was canceled off by, you know what I'm saying, your positive energy. So it's the people that just motivate me, bro. I can't be weak for the people depending on me, so I gotta stay strong.
And that's Mind Made for sure. Tune in right now on YouTube. Type in Mind Made TV. Go to playlist and go to season 1 in Mind Made TV. Tune in.
Chapter 8, The Greatest Narcissists. God is the greatest narcissist. Everyone on this planet is a narcissist, but they refuse to accept it, which causes them to be unbalanced liars. A true narcissist isn't a liar. They tell the truth and have integrity. Because of this, they carry themselves with a very high confidence that may come off as conceited. The truth is they know who they are and why they are great. They come in the image of God. People hate narcissists because they can't prove him wrong. Narcissists don't speak on anything they do not know, understand, or comprehend completely. Narcissists are very great leaders because they understand they are being used by God personally to fulfill whatever purpose God has for them. The problem with that is, people don't believe that, and it will cause them to hate the narcissist because his/her goals or vision is too far from what they can see. Narcissists end up being loners. They tend to fall out with family and be solo. Narcissists truly believe in themselves and whatever they are pursuing.
Right. And so now it really quick, like even in the story of Narcissus actually, he didn't believe in himself. He was unhealthy. He was an unhealthy narcissist. He didn't even know how dope he was. So it took him to have to see himself before he actually notice what other people were seeing and things like that. And this is just an example, a metaphor of recognizing who you are. And this is what a true narcissist, like Narcissus, should have done. Like once he did fully recognize, he was able to recognize how amazing he really was. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, other versions, then he could actually run off with that girl who he found, boom, 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 echo. There we go.
If you lie, cheat, steal, kill, rob, or trespass on others, you are not a narcissist. People confuse what a narcissist is versus what a satanic individual is.
Right. So some people, and this is part right here is key. Some people confuse what a narcissist is versus what a satanic individual is. We just take away the word Satan. So technically, people who are not modern day Christians, they have tried to, like people that, let's say, not even people, I don't even want to do like that. People that don't believe in God and that don't believe in Satan because they don't believe in God or Satan and they don't believe in the Bible. These people have taken the concept of who Satan is and they have added so many different words to Satan. And also, this is going to be a dope concept because I'm going to bring out a part in my book, Revelations of the Angels, where I break down Satan's angels who actually have the characteristics of narcissistic personality disorder. And number one being the word, the name Lucifer, that actually represents narcissistic personality disorder. We gonna get into that, but let me go on. Let me continue.
Narcissist can only be true narcissist if they are connected directly to God, allowing it to be about them and God.
You cannot be a true healthy narcissist unless you are truly divinely connected to God, making it about you and God. Because once it becomes about you and God, nobody else matters. Because the only people that will matter will also be the people that's also loving God as well. And we know all things work for the good of those who love God and called according to God's purpose. So if you're not tapped into God's purpose, you're not on point. It's all about God. And God has the right to be a narcissist because everything revolves around God. God is okay with that because God knows how great God is. It's good to be like this because I know that this being like this allows me to be able to be as great as I am. So I have to be this way. So
a lot of people are called narcissist and they are not. Some people call others narcissist when they themselves are narcissistic.
Now, when I say some people are not narcissists, they're not true narcissists. They're actually suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. So a person suffering from narcissistic personality disorder isn't a healthy, true narcissist. They are actually a person suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. That's why it's a real term that exists for this. There's no reason to have this term if there wasn't a reason for it. Yes, the term is because you're unhealthy. If you didn't have narcissistic personality disorder, what does that mean? Then you don't suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, which means that you're not, but you still can be a narcissist. It's not going to stop you from still being a narcissist, which is self-centered, because self-centeredness is not about narcissism. That's what they have coined it to mean, because they have caused people to think, hey, everything is about you, and why is it not about me? Why can't? That's because you're wrong. You're doing things backwards. You're not learning fast enough. You're not putting in the work. You're not doing enough reps in the gym. You're not studying hard enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not on time. Whatever the reasons that you are not the one that's leading is because you're not the one that's being responsible and self-governed and loving yourself the way that you're supposed to. As you start to do that better, you will find out that you will start being a leader in different areas and different places in your life. And then you will understand why I am being this way myself. This is what it is. And people are really damaged out here. Let's keep it going.
The problem is they are not true narcissists, but want to be, so they get upset with the true narcissist.
They not really narcissists themselves, and they notice that the narcissist that they call narcissist, he a narcissist or she a narcissist. They're narcissists because they carry themselves with a very strong confidence that might come off as conceited. You know why? Because they know what they're doing. And people hate it. Like, I want to do that. And now you hate it. You know why you can't? Because you have narcissistic personality disorder. And we gonna go into it, but anyway, let's go.
Narcissists are honest and do not care about the outcome of the truth they speak. Narcissistic personality disorder is part of mental health, and I do not agree with anything dealing with modern-day mental health. Narcissism has nothing to do with mental health, but a narcissist can have bad mental health issues. A narcissist can also be healthy. This misconception is a very dangerous thing that has caused many people to be confused about who they are. Jealousy, which was talked about in Chapter 1, is a defensive mechanism that works to alert you when you are not being appreciated, and to be aware of what is happening around you. Your actions after the feeling has nothing to do with the feeling itself. With this, people try to include jealousy as a bad character trait, making people who are jealous seem wrong for having boundaries. Many mental health experts of this time have refused to understand that all people on this planet suffer from some type of mental health, if they have not assessed their mental health. Many people today refuse to even think they have any problems, let alone mental health problems. The minute they think it's possible, they get emotional, sometimes stopping themselves from understanding the issue. A true narcissist, who is healthy mentally, has already been through something in their life that has made them suffer from something traumatic. They recognize they have a problem and fix it, and from there use that method continually in future situations.
This means that a true healthy narcissist, they find themselves, they talk to themselves, meaning that they don't just be out in the street like, hey, King John, how you doing today? I'm good, brother. How you doing? I'm all right. That's not what I'm saying. But they have conversations with their mind. They actually think in their head quietly, meditating and thinking about their thoughts that they're having that's going through their head. And they're trying to figure out and understand what's happening. What's going on with me? Why am I feeling this way? Why did this happen? Why do I feel this way about this happening? And these are all questions that God has the answer to. And if you seek God, then you get those answers and you find yourself, because diligently seeking God gives you that reward. And that reward is the Holy Spirit, which gives you God's name. And then boom, that's love. And then you tapped in. Now you a healthy, functioning narcissist. And you're no longer suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. If I could actually put a number on it, I would say that 98% of the world suffers from narcissistic personality disorder without even knowing it. I would say that, but I'm not able to really say it. But I'm just throwing these things out here because I need us to pay attention to what's really going on.
This is the method of healthy and true narcissist. Do not allow people who are unhealthy narcissists make you feel bad or crazy for being a true narcissist, but do not claim to be a narcissist if you lie, steal, rob, cheat, and kill for personal benefits. That is not narcissistic, it is satanic. Chapter
Okay.
9.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to this part. And I know I said I was gonna bring out this part about the angels. So I'm gonna actually bring that out now. This part right here is in my book. This is talking about the 7 positive and negative archangels. But what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna play the part about Satan's angels. And this part right here, I'm gonna break it down as it go through. But yes, pay attention to this because this is gonna show you the archangels. Now the thing about this is you have to watch my video, listen to my video from yesterday, not my video, my podcast from yesterday, where we was breaking down the name of God and we was talking about the face of God. We was talking about the seraphim who are the agents of salvation, who have the face of God. This is a deep concept, but we gonna go into this. This is about Satan and his angels. So Satan got cast down with his angels. Who were Satan and his angels? Now there is a concept that there's 7 archangels. Now that tap in with God, that sit on the right hand of God. Now there actually is a concept that there was the angels that were in heaven could have been in the same type of concept or layers as these gods, or not gods, these angels. And so using this concept that I broke down, I actually took concepts that's in the Bible, that's literally in the Bible, and I made sure that they're in the Bible, and I break down these different fallen angels that are identified in the Bible. So there are 7 names that's identified in the Bible in total, to identify Satan and his fallen angels. And they all come in one name, but we gonna talk about it. So here we go. And the reason why I'm bringing this out, because one narcissistic personality disorder is the embodiment of devils. That's just what it is. When you are not in love and you're not coming in love, you're unsecure against evil. And that means evil and these devils can come and tap into you. So when people say they're possessed with these devils that I'm about to name right here. And a lot of people don't really have this information. So peep it and understand it. You can take it for whatever you want to take it as, though. But we go tap in. So here we go.
Chapter 9. Satan's Angels. Satan was a seraphim who was not willing to stay in alignment with the order of God. Satan influenced other angels. Revelation 12 verse 9 says Satan and his angels, meaning those who followed him. The angels who decided to follow Satan took on his name. Some names mentioned about these fallen angels are as follows: Lucifer, narcissistic personality disorder opponent of understanding Isaiah 14 verse 12, Mammon, the lack of wisdom opposition of wisdom Matthew 6:24, Asmodeus, lust the opponent of love Tobit 3:8. Leviathan, the deceiver, opponent of truth Isaiah 27 verse 1, Beelzebub, opponent of correction Matthew 12:27, Baal, the opponent of fear Jeremiah 19 verse 5, and Belial, opponent of war 1 Kings 21 verse 13.
So now it was breaking down all of it's going to go into more detail about each one, but that just was breaking down the different verses that you can find if y'all was paying attention. The different verses, and you can rewind the podcast, but the different verses that you can find each one of these names in are listed. You know what I'm saying? Like Asmodeus, Tobit 3:8, that's in the Apocrypha. Then you got Belial, 1 Kings 21:13, Baal, Jeremiah 19:5. You got Beelzebub, Matthew 12:27, Leviathan, Isaiah 27:1. Where was that? Mammon, which is Matthew 6:24, and Lucifer. Isaiah 14:12. These are names that's mentioned when you see certain negative concepts happening, that's dealing with the opposition of God. And so I identified these concepts by actually studying. And when I studied and put these concepts in this order, I realized that these could be Satan's Satan and his angels, and they're individual angels that do individual things. And these angels don't have to come in just one angel. It can be 1,000 angels who are Asmodeus. There's 1,000 Asmodeus angels, or there's 1,000 Leviathan angels, there's 1,000 Beelzebub angels, there's 1,000 Baal angels. You know what I'm saying? So they don't just affect one person, they can affect many different people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So there's an understanding that's here with that. But let me keep it going.
These are the 7 negative archangels from the Bible. Satan is the father of these angels. Satan's is the embodiment of these fallen angels. There are many more, and they all stem from these 7 angels. If we can overcome and learn to control these fallen angels, we can overcome them and gain access to the Holy Spirit that controls all angels. The archangels of Satan are as follows. 1. Lucifer, narcissistic personality disorder. This devil is the opponent of the angel Tu with Macronin. This devil causes man to misunderstand the purpose of the power they possess.
Now, so Lucifer, this is one of the, so this is not something that y'all should go and be like, oh, this is 100% true. This is something that y'all should take in for y'all personal understanding and try to study and figure out why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because there's nowhere that it says that these are the 7 negative archangels, but I'm identifying them as archangels and negative because they are the main functioning chief angels of Satan. Because the archangel just mean chief messengers. That's all it is. It's not actually nothing like too crazy. But like, yes, and these angels, these angels that fell with Satan are angels still. They don't stop being that. So these negative ones, one of them being Lucifer. Lucifer, narcissistic personality disorder, is actually the concept of who Lucifer is. This devil is the opponent of the angel Tabun. Tabun is the angel of understanding. This devil causes man to misunderstand the purpose of the power they possess. So this right here is, again, Narcissus. Narcissus, in the story of Narcissus, he didn't know how powerful he was and how dope he was until he ran across that pond where he was chasing after the girl, and he ended up getting to the pond. And once he got to the pond, he seen his reflection and his powers affected him. And then he got a taste of his own medicine. But he found himself, though. You see what I'm saying? So that's a key point.
This angel was the reason for the fall of many kings, including the devil himself. 2. Mammon, the lack of wisdom. This devil is the opponent of the angel Chakma. This devil tries to trick mankind into ignoring God's power and focusing on others.
All right, so now, and I'm not going. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through these I'm gonna go through these because I want to get y'all the understanding of these angels. But the main one is narcissistic personality disorder. But all of these angels are what's affecting mankind today. So I'm gonna go through each one of them. But this one right here, this is Mammon. Mammon says this devil is the opponent of the angel Chakma, which is wisdom. So the angel of Mammon is the lack of wisdom. This devil tries to trick mankind into ignoring God's power and focusing on others. This devil make idols of man's favorite things. So Mammon is like, money, sex, fame, power. That's Mammon. This Mammon is like a real deity that goes into people and affects people and causes people to chase after and deal after false gods.
This devil makes idols of man's favorite things. 3. Asmodeus.
Now the angel Asmodeus.
Lust. This devil stops man from seeing the importance of doing God's will. This devil uses the desires of man and tries to make man think love is anything outside of God's nature, character, and authority. This devil is the opponent of the angel Ahaba.
Now, Ahaba is the angel of love, which is talked about in another chapter in my book. But Ahaba is the angel of love, and Asmodeus is the adversary to the angel Ahaba. Asmodeus is lust, and Asmodeus wants us to lust over everything. Wants us to go against love. Wants us to think that love is something outside of patience, understanding, care, correction, long suffering, faithfulness, and loyalty. As Asmodeus wants us to be like Narcissus was before he seen himself and found himself, wanting us to think that, you know what I'm saying, oh, these people love me. And it's not love, it's actually lust that he's witnessing. That's why he's not feeling, that's why Narcissus wasn't feeling good. Because Narcissus thought that these people really loved him because they were saying it, and he took that fake love that they were getting, and he felt the lack of real love that was actually there, and it made him not like love. It made him go against God. It made him go against himself. He like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired. Like, get out my face. You know, like, that's the energy.
4. Leviathan, the deceiver.
Leviathan. This devil right here, low key, is the serpent in the Garden Eden. No cap, but we gonna go into it.
This angel tried to confuse mankind and threw them away from the messages of the angel Gabriel. This devil is always ready to twist the truth and cause confusion. 5. Beelzebub.
Beelzebub is the angel or devil that they said Jesus had inside of him.
This devil goes against the angel Yasar, trying to get mankind to ignore the benefits of being healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally. This devil causes mankind to overeat, use drugs, and refuse to work out. This devil is responsible for laziness.
Now, they said Jesus they said he casts out devils in the name of Beelzebub when he had cast out the devils. But he was like, Jesus was like, how can Beelzebub cast out Beelzebub? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can Satan's army stand? But he broke that down like, that Satan is not out here casting out devils, brother. So stop playing, stop lying on God's name. Beelzebub could never cast out devils. That would be stupid of Beelzebub to do so. And Jesus didn't come in no Beelzebub. They just had a misunderstanding of who he was and what being healthy, what being being healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally really is. They lacked that true understanding, and Jesus knew it, so he wasn't as stressed out as they were and able to be healthy, even while he was being free in the things that he ate. Not saying he was out here eating pork and nothing like that, but he was definitely like eating what he chose to eat. That's just what it is. And he didn't have no like, oh, I can't eat this. No. Like, that's not the energy that Jesus had. That's obviously why they said John the Baptist come eating and drinking, and the Son of Man come, John the Baptist came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, behold, he have a devil. And then the Son of Man comes come eating and drinking. He comes eating and drinking, and they say, behold, he's a glutton and a wine bibber and a friend of sinners and publicans. But wisdom is justified of her children. So understanding that Chakma, which is the angel of wisdom, is justified of all those who possess her. That's the understanding that's there. So I'm going to keep it going.
6. Baal, this devil, is the prince of the air. This angel wants mankind to believe they are higher than the Most High. This devil only seeks to overpower God. This devil wants to be the only God, but wants his fellow devils to worship him. This devil is weak without the other devils. This devil always loses to Yura, the angel of fear.
So, Baal is broken down as the actual angel of Satan that actually is the prince of the air, the actual chief underneath Satan himself. So underneath Satan himself, because some people say Satan himself is Lucifer. No, Lucifer is just one of these little lackeys. He's another lackey. He's narcissistic personality disorder. But Baal he's the chief, but he's literally only somebody because of the order that the other angels come in. He keeps the order and control over the other angels and influence them on how to move and how to be. But he's nothing without them individually. He's like a neutral energy that actually was just an influencer. He just influences the idea to move the way that he moves. He goes against fear. He causes us to go against the actual concept of caring about something. He has no care and no purpose at all. So he needs other people to have a purpose. He needs others to not go against the purpose so he can have a purpose. Because he has no purpose in God's purpose, so he needs the purpose. And he influences the other angels to lose their purpose, even though they have a purpose. So now, here we go.
7. Belial, this devil, is the king of the angels, and the war serpent that was defeated by Michael, and the angel of the Lord.
So now you got Belial. Belial is actually the actual Satan himself. The serpent, the great dragon serpent, who actually is the king of all the angels on earth, and the leader of Baal, who takes orders from Belial, who Belial gives Baal all the orders and allows him to be in full control over everything. But Belial is like literally just the actual essence and energy of what these other angels are. The name that Satan comes in, or Belial comes in, is Satan's actual name that goes against God's name. It's the actual actions against God itself, the actual like foundation of going against God, and that's who Belial is. So as I broke this down, I'm letting us know that until we conquer all of these angels, these negative archangels, these devils, and get rid of them out of ourselves, like every one of them, what they sound like, if any of them sound like they identify to you, or you have anything like that going on with you, you have a devil within you. And you have to get that devil out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that will cause you to have narcissistic personality disorder if you keep these devils inside of you. So that's where that comes from. So as I go on, let me kind of keep it going, pushing. This is the last part. It's 2 more parts of the last section, which is God is a narcissist. The love of God. What is the love of God? The love of God is that we keep his commandments, right? Let's go to this verse right here. 1 John 3:23. It says, I'm going to start at 20. 1 John 3:20 says this. For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence towards God. Which means that if we not feeling no type of way after we do wrong, do we really feel like God exists for real? Do we feel like God has a job? Do we feel like God is anybody? No. That's why the non-believers, they don't have no guilt, no conscience, no guilty conscience. They don't care. They have no confidence in God. That's why they don't get condemned in their heart. So don't think just because you feel bad for doing things that you wrong. No, you actually are right. So change your way of thinking. You still got a conscience. You still can actually survive. God is giving you grace. Repent. That's the energy. It says, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his eye, in his sight. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his son, Jesus Christ. Jesus' name is love. I don't care what nobody say. Love. Love is Jesus' name. But Jesus, everybody identify Jesus as Jesus. So I got to keep making sure that I identify who they think Jesus is with Jesus, so that we can link Jesus to Jesus' real name. So we can know who Jesus was. And that's how we got to do it. So going forward, it says, believe on the name of Jesus, his son, Jesus Christ, and love one another as he gave us commandment. Our job is to love. So that's a big part, because the love of God, like, let me read this part too. Galatians 5:14. This is important. We went over this yesterday too. It says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Why would we ever try to do anything outside of love God if all the law is fulfilled in just loving? Why would I have to sit there and study not killing people and not stealing from people and not robbing people if all I have to do is study what love truly is, and I won't do none of those things anyway? My mind would not be on thinking about killing anybody if I was loving. So I don't have to remember no 613 commandments, because they are irrelevant to me, because I'm embodied in the actual full law, which is love. Love is the actual fulfillment of the law. If I come in that, I don't have to worry about nothing. I'm not stressed out about what I'm not doing, because I know what I am doing. I'm loving. As long as I do that, I'm good. Because if I do something that's out of line, if I got love in my heart, I'm going to notice it is going to convict me, and I'm going to have to watch myself repent. Like, hold on, what am I doing? Oh, my bad, bro. That was hurting your feelings. Oh, let me not do that. Oh, that was making you feel unappreciated. Oh, let me not do that. Oh, you feel like I'm not paying no attention to you. Let me fix that. That's how it works. I'm feeling some type of way because you not talking to me. Oh, I feel some type of way because you did this to me. Oh, I feel some type of way because you said this about me. Communication, correction, love. So not only would you do good, but the people that also around you that love too, they go do good too, because they go tell you and communicate to you what's wrong when it's wrong, and you go do the same. So for the fulfillment of God's law is love. So now let me end it with this last part, God's jealousy. It says, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God." What does this mean? This means that God is jealous or zealous, which means what? Let's look at the word zealous or jealous. James 3:16 says this: For where envying and strife is, the word envying right there is the word zealous. The word zealous means jealous. And it also means excitement of mind. And this right here is letting you know two things. One, whenever someone is getting jealous, that means that they're starting to be narcissistic. They're starting to be, it's about them. They're feeling like they're not being appreciated. They feel like it's not enough attention given to them. Isn't that self-centered? Yes. But is it bad? No. Especially when they have a reason, because reason is what law is established based on. So God's reason for being jealous is the issue. You know why God's jealous? God's jealous because order. Let's actually, matter of fact, I got another part I want to actually play.
Chapter 7, What is Law? The word law comes from a Hebrew word Torah, H8451, meaning direction or instruction.
The word Torah, which is what people say the Bible is, the Torah, the law. That's what the word law comes from.
The word law comes from a Hebrew word Torah, H8451, meaning direction or instruction. The word law also comes a Greek word nomos, G3551, which means anything established with reason. God doesn't establish law without reason.
There's never a time in the Bible at all where God does not give a reason why God establishes any law. Even the first law, God said, hey, Adam, you can eat of any tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shouldst not eat of it, for in the day that you eat of it, you will surely die. That's a good enough reason not to do something. Like, I don't care how nobody feel, bro. But, of course, it wasn't good enough for Adam and Eve, but we gonna go for it.
Sin is the transgressions of the law without reason. In Ecclesiastes 3, it tells us that there is a time for everything under the sun, but it must have reason. Law is what is established to protect us from doing things that can lead to our destruction. Learning what law is can help recognizing when, and you're not breaking the law. Law is the order that all things were made in. Going against that order causes chaos. James 3 verse 16 tells us that wherever there is envying and strife, there is confusion and every type of evil. This is because God is jealous, and Exodus 34 verse 14 tells us that the Most High nature is jealous. This means when you go against the order God has put in place and follow other ideas, it not only causes God to be jealous, but cause problems for us as well.
It means that hold on, this is the last part.
We as people should never want to go against the law of God.
This means that the only reason why God gets jealous for real is because when we go against God's order that God has put in place, we're literally going against the universal order of all things. And it's bad for not just God and how God wanted everything to function, but for us, because now we have to face the reactions that come from breaking the universal order. Every action has a reaction. Every time we do an action outside of the order of the universe, or not the order of the universe, the order that God has put in place, then we have a result that we have to face and handle, a consequence. So that means that that's why it says, the Bible says, anywhere envy and strife is, destruction is there. Let me read it again. It says, For every word envy and strife is, there is confusion and evil and in every evil work. So everywhere that you see jealousy, which is God's jealousy, we're not just talking about any jealousy, but all the jealousy for real, because it comes from the same place, God. Whenever you witnessing that jealousy, there's some type of confusion and some type of evil work going on. All evil work going on. There's something going on that we need to fix. Somebody got a devil around here. Because jealousy stems from a lot of things, which is more so going against order. Jealousy is going against God's name. So anytime somebody has established something that God has established with them, and you come and go against that established law or understanding, that causes a person to get jealous. So the whole gaslighting thing, that's a bad thing. There's people who call their boyfriend or their girlfriend narcissist, and they use it against them to try to make themselves seem like they're somebody dope or amazing or good and not narcissistic. And that's narcissism in itself, narcissistic personality disorder in itself. So there's a lot of misunderstandings on what narcissistic behavior is and what narcissistic personality disorder is. But, in this room today, we broke it down. There's a lot of people that don't recognize how important it is to recognize narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, because people will use it to hurt you and make you feel some type of way. And if enough people will believe it and try to project it onto you, you can find yourself in a bad position. That's why you got to be careful on who you allow around you. Just because somebody say something that makes sense to you does not always mean that it makes sense. It could probably make sense to you because they made it sound good. Even everything I'm saying in this podcast, take it with a grain of salt and figure out what is valuable to you and what you can use to help you. Like the story of Narcissus, look into it. Find out what I was wrong about, if I was wrong about anything, and find out what you didn't understand and what you didn't know. But Narcissus, he was unhealthy until he found himself. And we're supposed to find ourselves and not be unhealthy Narcissus. We want to be a healthy Narcissus and learn who we are, how powerful we are, and why people gravitate towards us, and how to use our power that we have to our advantage to help the world. That's how you be a healthy Narcissus. Because Narcissus wasn't a bad individual if he had healthy mental health behaviors. If his mental health was at a great capacity, he would have did great things. Tune in right now to this quick snippet from
Pakistan is part where the Saeed tribe is, okay? Now, all the men in that tribe claim to be direct descendants of Genghis Khan.
Ah, well, there's a reason you brought this.
Right. Now, he was one of the most prolific breeders ever. There's like a study that 1 in every 200 men in the world are probably walking around carrying the genetic marker that can be traced back to him, okay? What if somebody found a way to target that trait? Can I keep going?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, come here. All right, now, based on a lot of very, very new and, where is it? It's new science. It's very complicated. We are right on the verge of being able to build viruses that can target genetic traits specifically. And the Khan marker is the most common one there is, okay? So what I'm saying is, what if someone, theoretically, could make a virus that would give most people the flu? But if somebody with the Khan marker got it,
They'd have a stroke. Interesting.
Exactly.
You'd have to be sure that your target had the marker.
Yes.
And there isn't any proof that someone can make a virus.
Yeah, but do you know what the odds of 3 guys dying of a stroke at their age, all within the same 48-hour period are? It's like crazy. It's 1 in, it's really low. It's like insanely low. 1 in a trillion or something.
If this is right, there has to be something that connects Stephen Fisher to the other two.
Yeah. That's this, Young Molly's Coffee.
Thank you for tuning in to Mind Made TV. So, I appreciate everybody that's in the room. I see Brother Nan, Savy, Alasia, Diamond K. I appreciate y'all for being in the room. Brother Nan, let me see what you talking. Let me read some of the comments real quick. I see Diamond Light right, yes. Laura said, this is disinformation. I'm crying. That's why I'm glad Laura didn't come on the stage. Narcissism is on a high spectrum is evil. Oh, narcissism on a high spectrum is evil. They will lie, steal, and destroy the lives of the targets and targets' family and friends. She had a bad experience. That's terrible for her. But it wasn't a narcissist. It was a narcissist. It was a satanic individual. Satanic individuals do that. She needed to learn who Satan is, and if she knew who Satan is, she would be able to identify Satan as that. She wants to take the word narcissist, which we just broke down today, in great detail, and she wanted to try to put that on somebody who's Satan. You know what I'm saying? Who has Satan in these devils that we were just breaking down inside of them. Just so we could be clear. His name is Love. This lesson may be over my head, over many heads. Yes, this is over many people's heads. But yesterday I did a podcast, Brother Nan, on what God's name truly is, and I came to an understanding that God's name is love, and I broke it down in detail. So y'all can check that podcast out. Check out this podcast and things. I'm gonna put a link up before I close the room down. Love is the root message of all law and power. Yes, it is. Facts. It's the fulfillment of the law. And I appreciate you, brother. You said, and I like your lesson. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Diamond said, okay, narcissist joking. Oh, I'm crying. You feel me? Thank you. Yes, this she said great info though. I appreciate that. And this room has been fire. I don't care how y'all feel about this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got this information in bits and pieces over the last, I don't know how many years, and over the last couple of days, and over, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a collective of information that took me a long time to be able to articulate in this way. And y'all got it in like a smooth type of manner where it was able to get out to y'all. And after I edit this podcast and put it out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all will be able to actually hear it back uninterrupted without all the little stops and pauses and stutters and stuff like that. And y'all can, and some music added in. Don't forget the music. And y'all will be able to, hear something powerful and on repeat, you know what I'm saying? And take notes on all this information. And also, just so y'all can be clear, the story of Narcissus that I said in detail, that's not the same version that everybody has, because there's many different versions of the same story. So y'all might not even be able to find the one I did. So it's a little bit exclusive over here. So tap in. This is Mind Made Radio.
King John.
No, it's kind of hard.
7 King.
No, it's kind of hard for a king. No, it's kind of hard for a king. You gotta lead the team.
I'm winning like I'm passing the finish, trying to get it while I'm finally living. No time for chilling no more. I had enough like J-Lo, but I'm doing the beating. On any beat I'm receiving, like Marshall. Trying to get off, but they wasn't passing the ball. Trying to save our women, but y'all smashing them, hitting them raw, leaving them scarred, then claiming you a Lion King. You Lion King. And the irony when she ride me, ignoring your text, you keep writing, claim you sorry, but no board games, I'ma get in trouble. They finally riding the wave I'm on, I'ma let it flow, never give up, Joyce Myers. Apply pressure, no pliers, done mess with liars, they nose too big, stay away rat, I don't want your head, she too friendly, she probably got holes in the bed, I say that cause I don't wanna call her one, and I'm original like the Carter one, and I'm wheezy from the weed I smoke, floating in the air, I might need a coat. And I'm realer than something that Peter wrote. Flood the world with wisdom, we gon' need a boat. But God make it to where the faithful won't need to float. Shout out Yeshaya, cause he the GOAT. This ain't even half for the truth, it's even more. King John, yeah, you know I got that flow, huh? You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You gotta go and lead this team. You gotta go and lead this team, and you gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You gotta go and lead this team. You gotta go and lead this team, and you gotta lead the team. Gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You gotta go and lead this team. You hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You know it's kinda hard for a king. You know it's kinda hard for a king, but you gotta lead the team. You gotta go and lead this team. You gotta go and lead this team, and you gotta lead the team.